Hello, everybody. Welcome into a Thursday edition of the Computer America Show. We got a terrific show planned for you tonight. In the first hour, you know him, we know him. SlimWare Utilities is here with us tonight. Bob Bryant is the Chief Technical Officer Technology Officer for SlimWare Utilities, and he's going to be talking about not only SlimWare Utilities, but what you need to do things that you need to consider before you make the transition to Windows 10. It's going to be a fun show and extremely informative. So this is one you really want to listen to. And then in the second hour, I have computer and technology news brought to you by, yes, you guessed it, SlimWare Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So sit back, relax.
1 minute until showtime.
So sit back, relax, enjoy the show as we begin 2 hours of Computer America. Now, what was that you said, Ben?
I said, where have I heard that name before?
Yeah, SlimWare Utilities. All right. Okay, looks like everything is going well. $30 seconds. $10 seconds.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
The Computer America Show is brought to you by Bell Ringers. It's newer than news when you're right there as it first debuts. Visit our sponsor's website at bellringersmedia.com. Hello and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And I'm really jazzed about this tonight. We got a really great show for not that we don't always have a great show for you, but I
know you're really excited about the news stories that picked out in the second hour.
Yes, you did pick out some great news stories. That's very, very true. But I'm also very pleased to have our guest here tonight in the first hour. SlimWare Utilities is here with us tonight. It's going to be a fun show. And they're here to talk about Windows 10. It's right around the corner, July 29th. You're going to have it. And we're going to talk with the company's Chief Technology Officer, Bob Bryant, as to what you need to do or consider before you make that very important upgrade. So that's going to be in the first hour. And then in hour two, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by SlimWare Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. Ben, anything you want to talk about before we get started?
Anything to mention? No, nothing that pops immediately to mind. We're gonna have that nice contest tomorrow night to give away that great MX2 Anywhere mouse, and sign up. Sign up on all of our social media sites. But other than that, no, not really.
Yeah, Logitech, by the way, they're changing the logo. I don't know if you noticed that too.
Yeah. They're going through a massive rebranding effort. They are one of many companies, just off topic here real quick. Coca-Cola, you may know them. They make soft drinks.
Yes, I do.
They're changing their logo.
Wow.
As in, the cursive Coca-Cola logo.
Yeah.
They're doing away with that completely.
Well, just as long as they don't change the formula. Even alone, no more of this new.
They've done that before, and I think it was all a marketing scheme. But a lot of companies, tech and otherwise, are going through rebranding efforts lately. So that's good to see, though. It's good to see.
Yeah, keep things changing. Change is a good thing.
Keep them fresh.
All right. Well, as I mentioned, our guest tonight is SlimWare Utilities. SlimWare Utilities is a U.S.-based software company founded on the premise that cloud computing and crowdsourced applications will revolutionize the performance of personal computers. Specifically, they provide consumers with downloadable software and services that clean, repair, update, and optimize your personal computer. Their flagship products include Slim Computer, Slim Cleaner, and Slim Drivers. All use the cloud and crowdsourcing to gather input from IT professionals and make unique, personalized decisions that improve a consumer's computer hardware and software configurations. Now, up for discussion tonight, Windows 10 and the things you need to consider before you make the transition to Microsoft's latest operating system. Specifically, we'll hear what they are doing at SlimWare Utilities to help consumers when they do upgrade to Windows 10. Now, joining us tonight is Bob Bryant. Bob is the Chief Technology Officer for SlimWare Utilities. Bob, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
Hey, Craig, I'm doing very well. Appreciate you having me.
And we're glad to have you here.
Our pleasure.
Yes, our pleasure. I'm very excited and pleased to have you here. I've been, not to gush, but let's face it, I've been using SlimWare Utilities for a very long time, and it's just a wonderful product. We use it in the entire Crossman household, and I'm so very glad to have you here. I know there have been some changes at SlimWare Utilities. I understand now you're operated by MindSpark Interactive.
Yeah, that's right. So MindSpark Interactive, just a division of IAC, purchased SlimWare Utilities a little over a year ago, last April.
Uh-huh.
And the transition has been wonderful. As an IAC business, they've allowed us or they've given us the resources that we've really needed to work on expanding our products and improving the quality of the products. And we've greatly benefited from their resources, and a lot of great talent at MindSpark as well. I think you had our president on the other week.
Yes.
with Tim Allen. He's
Tim Allen.
He's a tremendous talent amongst many other tremendous talents at MindSpark that have really helped us take our programs to the next level. So it's been wonderful for us.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. And
you guys didn't go through that whole, I have a new owner, so we're gonna, strip everything down, rebrand it, change all of our products and go forth. No, all this kind of stuff has been happening behind the scenes, of course, because SlimWare Utilities, still the same great products. Like you didn't go for different products or go behind a paywall. It's just behind the scenes stuff is happening, but SlimWare Utilities is the same product, the same good product that it has been.
Yeah, absolutely. MindSpark saw a tremendous loyal user base, of which you two are obviously two of our biggest promoters. That really love the products that we have to offer. And why disrupt a good thing, right? Like
exactly.
I said, the point with the MindSpark acquisition was really to give us the resources to really drive innovation of these products and further our mission statement. We had a great run as an independent. We did a lot of really wonderful things, and made a lot of fans all over the world. In the past year, we've worked to further that, and everybody should be excited about the future of SlimWare. I certainly am. Ben, as you mentioned, all of our free apps remain free. That's a cornerstone of our company. We rely on our community of users to feed us, really high quality data. That is something that we must have, and it's something that's a big value proposition of our business. So that's not going anywhere, and we're definitely looking forward to what we can do with IAC and MindSpark in the future.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful alliance, absolutely. And again, that was one of the first things that struck me about SlimWare Utilities, that everything on there is free. And then just, oh my gosh, and it truly is. But what I do want to focus on in this hour, because we just have so little time, I wish we had more, but we don't. So we're going to focus tonight pretty much on the transition to Windows 10, because it's literally around the corner. It's like about 2.5 weeks away, July 29th.
The children are panicking as we speak.
Yes. And so I want you to speak a little bit about what consumers need to do or consider before they make the transitions to Windows 10. And by the way, if you have a comment or question for our guest, Bob Bryant, you can give us a call, 347-884-8881, 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. We also have a chat room that you can join us at computeramerica.com. And when you go there, two things will happen. You'll see the chat room. It's very simple to enter. And also our live Computer America video stream will begin, because not only are we a talk show, a radio talk show, we also transmit the live video of the program. So we look forward to seeing you in there. So let's start off, Bob, by saying, what are some of the things consumers should think about as they get ready to transition to Windows 10?
Yeah, wow, Craig. July 29th. It's less than 3 weeks away at this point. It's coming up fast, and we're all excited about it. So, I think that the key for users is just to make sure that you have your computer operating in tip-top shape. So, there's basically two ways of getting Windows 10. You can, of course, buy a new computer that ships with Windows 10, right? You don't have to get it's brand new. You don't have to tune anything up. It just comes, and you may need some support to make hardware peripherals work and that sort of thing. But I think the path that most users are going to be taking are through the upgrade path. So Microsoft has announced for the first time that they're going to be doing free upgrades to users with Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 8.1 to Windows 10. So this is going to enable it's going to be a large migration. There's going to be a lot of folks upgrading to this new operating system, more so than have upgraded to operating systems in the past. And really what you need to do is just make sure you have a reservation for your copy of Windows 10. If you're running Windows 7 or Windows 8, there's going to be something in your notification area. And folks, it's a system tray on the bottom right.
Yep.
You need to reserve your copy. That gets you a spot in the queue to be able to download the thing. It's a large download, and I'm sure Microsoft servers would melt down if everybody hit it all at the same time. So if you want it on July 29th, you better reserve your copy.
Yes, Ben is actually demonstrating that if you're watching the live video stream, Ben is actually showing you the invitation to Windows 10 on our live video stream. But
very easy to do.
Yeah, very easy. I did it the moment I saw it. I went ahead and updated mine, and it didn't happen at the same time. Ben got his, I think, more quickly than I did with mine.
See, that's because they like me better.
Yeah, I didn't take it personally. So please continue, Bob.
Yeah. So look, like I said, and like you said, it's very simple. So do it. If you want to upgrade to Windows 10, you're going to feel very much at home. It's very similar to Windows 7, Windows 8. Get your spot. The second thing is just, with any sort of major deep, low-level system upgrade, it's always a good idea to back your files up. Microsoft is going to do a wonderful job at ensuring that the transition is flawless for everybody. But there could become problems anytime you're ripping out files that are really at the lowest levels of the operating system. You just want to be sure that you have your files backed up. Use a cloud storage system. Take a backup on a CD. Just anything. Just make sure that you have your files backed up. Mm-hmm. Before you begin your upgrade.
And I agree with I can't agree with you more. I mean, our mantra here at Computer America has been, it's not if your hard drive will fail, it's when your hard drive will fail. And also, obviously, if you're making a transition to a new operating system, you definitely want to make backup. So it's so apparent.
Too often people call in and they and they ask the question, how do I get my data back? How do I get this back? Something happened. It's not a headache you want to go through.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Ben, certainly not to get off topic here, but that's a really good point. Backup just in general is very much a reactionary. It's a reaction to people. People don't think of backup until they need it, and then by the time they need it, their data's gone. So everybody out there that's listening, just make sure that you have a backup solution. It's one of the easiest things you can do. There's a ton of them out there that are really good. Dropbox, Box. Actually, SlimWare is coming out with a product called Slim Backup here fairly shortly.
Ooh.
So, in any case, make sure to have a backup solution. It's one of the easiest things you can do, and it definitely comes in handy when things go wrong. So, beyond just backing up your files, you really the cool thing with the Windows 10 upgrade is it's going to preserve the stuff that's on your computer. At least that's the intent. It's gonna preserve your software. It's gonna preserve your settings. It's gonna preserve your files. So you really want to make sure that your machine is up to date and clean. And that's obviously, or maybe not obviously, that's areas that SlimWare specializes in. We have a suite of products that specialize in updating your software, updating your drivers with the Slim Drivers product.
Mm-hmm.
We have a suite of software that cleans out the junk files that are on your computer that you really don't need and is likely just slowing you down. That's our Slim Cleaner product. So I would definitely recommend cleaning up your PC before upgrading if you want a smooth Windows 10 experience.
Yeah, I've used Slim Cleaner to get rid of more detritus on my hard drive. These little programs come up that are supposedly, they're all part of the system, but they really aren't, and they're a lot of them are designed to be, they're like adware and things that you really, really don't need. And Slim Cleaner does a wonderful job of cleaning that up.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that when you're getting a fresh fresh coat of paint on your computer, so to speak. You're getting a brand new operating system. Let's use Slim Cleaner and ditch the adware before we upgrade.
Definitely. So what else do you suggest? Anything else before we move on about getting prepared? Obviously make backups.
Yeah, just
use Slim Cleaner. That type of thing. Make sure that you don't have all the junk. The
take a can of compressed air to your CD drive.
Exactly.
that can't hurt. No, just make sure everything's up to date. So Microsoft users, everybody needs to update their software. Run your Windows updates. Make sure you have the latest service packs installed, all the latest updates installed.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general, the general theme of this is back up, clean out, and update. We have products that help with all of that. And then the last thing, of course, is reserve your copy. Like I said, you want to be able to get it when it comes out. So that's about it, Craig.
So backup, clean up, and what was it?
Update.
Hey, there you go. The three things that you need to do before you go to Windows 10. So, and I'm curious to ask you this. I mean, you're extremely technical and you know all the answers to these things. And what do you think are some of the more interesting aspects of Windows 10?
Yeah, where do you start? I am really, really interested to see how consumers react to Windows 10. Microsoft has. It's funny. They've kind of the way they've done these operating system releases. They tend to work in cycles. They released Windows 2000, which was kind of a bit of a consumer flop, but that was shortly followed thereafter by XP, which of course was a massive success. Their next big, step forward with their operating system that moved it into a, more graphically intense and more secure, situation is Windows Vista. And with Vista, that kind of flopped, and they followed that up with Windows 7, which was extremely popular. And then they had Windows 8, which tried to move them into the mobile age with their desktop operating system. And that, it was kind of an odd experience to use that operating system. It was like a dual experience. You had your regular Windows applications and your kind of mobile metro, if you will, applications.
Yeah. And
with Windows 10, we're back on the, this should be a good release type of cycle. You know what I mean? It's the one that follows up, the ambitious the ambitious release of Windows 8. They've taken the good stuff from there and figured out all the bad stuff. And one of the cool things that Microsoft did with Windows 8 is they opened it up to an insider program. So they've had commentary from millions of folks around the world on what they can do to improve the operating system and its development. And I think anything from the universal applications feature, which is going to allow you to run your applications on all of Microsoft's platforms, be it tablet or phone or PC or what have you. That's going to be interesting. The Cortana search is going to be interesting. There's the tablet support. They have they used to call it Continuum. I think they dropped the name and they just call it tablet mode now. But anyways, needless to say, trying to get an operating system that really melds the desktop experience with the having a good mobile experience and not alienating either one of those user bases is what they're trying to do here. They tried to do it with Windows 8. I don't think it was well received, and I think they've, from what I can tell, from what I've used, and from the feedback that I've read across the internet, I think they've done a pretty good job of it with this operating system. So we'll see what happens.
What I'm looking forward to, Bob, is the integration with, you mentioned Cortana. I see myself truly multitasking. It's typing on the keyboard and doing something.
He is loving the idea of a digital assistant who can't argue back.
Right, and then while I'm doing so, I say, "Hey, Cortana, find me this, do me that," without skipping a beat. While I'm still typing on the keyboard, I think that's going to be a wonderful adjunct to how you do your daily computer work. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, you've seen how Siri has really helped the iOS experience through iPads and iPhones, and I think the early feedback on Cortana was she was it was a bit contextually off, and from what I've seen and experienced, they've improved her quite a bit here recently. I think I think it's going to be they're obviously going for having Cortana as an integral a very key part of the Windows 10 experience. And I think from everything I read, they've done a great job with it, and I certainly felt the same when I've used it.
Well, I mean, look, are you a Star Trek fan? I'm sure you must be. You watch Star Trek.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right. Well, you remember them. They're at the different stations, and they're pressing buttons, and everything, and they're talking to the computer at the same time. It's not so. It's a multitasking environment.
If Star Trek had foretold it, it must come true. So,
yeah. No, I can't wait. I can't wait for that. So okay. Now let me ask you this. So you don't feel that upgrading to Windows 10 is going to be a difficult process? I mean, in the past, it hasn't been necessarily the easiest thing, and of course, Microsoft has stumbled a little bit. But because Windows 10 has been out there really in the general public for so long, what's your opinion about the actual upgrade process?
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that anyone's really been able to see what the full upgrade process looks like from 7 to 7 or 8 to Windows 10 outside of the folks at Microsoft. I think that they've designed. If you think back to Windows 8, they issued a service pack more or less that they called 8.1, and it did a lot of the things that Windows 10 is doing, or at least it ripped out a lot of the functionality and replaced it just in the same way that this upgrade to Windows 10 will be doing. So, my hope is, and indeed, as software developers, we've had to make sure that our applications were compatible. And there really was very minimal changes that we had to make as software developers to be compatible. There's some things that our applications had to support, such as the Edge browser, that we needed to update. But for the most part, it was a seamless transition for us. And I'm hoping that that follows suit with the consumer upgrade path. I think it should be a fairly painless process.
So comes July 29th, is this just going to happen? I mean, if you pre-registered in one day, or is it something that is anything to be really worried about? Any terror, any night sweats, anything that's going to happen before before I mean, so here comes Windows 10 on July 29th.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. That's I can't. I don't know. I'm not gonna be that person having terrors and night sweats and freaking out. But I don't know. Maybe someone will. I think it's something to be excited about. I'm not sure exactly how I'm not sure exactly how the delivery is going to work for everybody on the planet that's running Windows 7 or Windows 8. This is why Microsoft is doing this reservation thing, and why it's so important to reserve your copy early. But no, I think we're excited about it, and I can't wait to see what it brings.
All right, now you gave us some advice, and I just want to, because I was going to ask you what advice you can give to consumers to help their upgrade go smoothly, and you did say backup, cleanup, and update. Anything more you want to add to that particular advice?
Yeah, I mean, look, the update part is a three-part thing. You want to make sure that you update your Windows itself to have the latest and greatest service pack. You want to make sure that you update your software, to the latest versions. It's faster, more features, less bugs, whatever the case may be. And you also want to make sure that your drivers are up to date.
Okay.
Much in the same way that you're updating your operating system. The updating your drivers is going to allow you to have all of the performance benefits, the feature benefits that come with recent driver releases. So yeah, that's probably probably about it.
All right. So then, why don't you tell us a little bit of what you're doing at SlimWare? I mean, maybe not you personally, but what are you doing at SlimWare to help consumers when they upgrade to Windows 10?
Sure. So yeah, I mean, look, it's SlimWare. We're pretty uniquely positioned to, specifically on the driver front. We do a lot of stuff with cleanup, and obviously we're going to be supporting Edge, and we'll be doing software updates and all of those wonderful things. On the driver front, we're pretty uniquely positioned. So, when you update, Microsoft just historically has not been, they do an all right job at supporting third-party hardware devices. They've gotten a lot better in recent versions with Windows 7 and Windows 8. But it's still not there. You don't get the full experience when you plug in. Say you go to a store and you buy a new printer or something like that. You're going to plug it in, and it's not going to have. It might not hook up. I have an Epson printer over here. I have to have an Epson scanning tool on my computer. It's a custom piece of software that Microsoft is not going to deliver through their Windows Update service.
Sure.
You have to go out to Epson and get it. And one of the things that we do is make that process painless. So we're going to have all of the all of your drivers for Windows 10 available through our Slim drivers and our driver update applications to make sure that all of your peripherals are going to function properly.
So you're ready.
That's certainly one of the big things that we're doing for Windows 10.
So you're ready at SlimWare when July 29th comes. You're ready. You have
until they push out that that next update on Friday, and it just messes everything up.
Well, hey, we're ready for that too. That's what we fix problems at SlimWare. We've been doing it for 5 years now. So
excellent.
We're ready. Now,
let's tell our listeners a little bit more about how things work at SlimWare. And I mentioned it in the introduction, that your software products, it's a very different than what you're normally used to. Your products are actually crowdsourced. So tell us a little bit about the consumer benefits of crowdsourced software and user-generated data. Why is that so cool, and why does it work so well?
Oh man, I could ramble on for hours about this. I'll try and keep it short. So yeah, look, we get to by leveraging crowdsourcing, we get to see everything that's happening in our ecosystem, right? We can see all of the new devices every time somebody gets a new computer, or there's a new driver that comes out for a specific device, or there's a new software version available for a particular piece of software. We get to see all that. We aggregate all of that data, and it really allows us to provide the most up-to-date feedback on whether you should update something, or what you should do with something. We collect data from our users. Craig, we aggregate data from our users to answer the question, what is this thing, and what should I do with it? So, we have millions of these things. As you use your computer, there's all sorts of stuff that gets installed on. There's software programs, there's startups, there's toolbars, there's browser extensions, there's all sorts of stuff. And by aggregating data on what this is, what this item is, and then what you should do with it, it really helps us it gives us a rich data set to help our users decide what they want to do, with something on their computer. If they think that removing something would optimize it, or maybe it's the cause of an error message that they're seeing, or it really allows us to provide a better experience to our end users than if we just collected the data ourselves.
Yeah, you have more brains, all these different things coming together, and it is a unified effort, unlike anything I've really seen before. Listen, I want to talk more about crowdsourcing. Bob, we're at the bottom of the hour, so we're going to take a quick break, commercial break, and then we'll come back to crowdsourcing and the Windows 10 update scenario, okay? All right.
Great.
All right.
Good.
All right. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Computer America Show. Ben and I are talking to SlimWare Utilities Chief Technology Officer, Bob Bryant. We will be right back with him. Stay with us.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons: accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Sometimes disaster strikes. Data can be lost due to many different reasons: accidental reformatting, power spikes, virus attacks. Zero Assumption Recovery provides a suite of highly effective and thorough data recovery software for Windows operating systems. ZA is suitable for home users and small businesses who need a powerful data recovery solution for Windows and Linux file systems.
Go to z-a-recovery.com.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
I'm waiting. Everybody quiet down now. That's better. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Kidda Remote Link. This message is from your house. I'm on fire. That is, in a nutshell, the concept behind the new Kidda Remote Link, a roughly cubicle, fit under 2.5 inches in each direction, plug-in that listens for smoke or CO alarms, and when it hears them, sends notifications. The setup happens through its app on a handset that's on the same Wi-Fi, but not 5 gigahertz, the same Wi-Fi net as the monitor. The app collects a login, a password, and location contact info for you, the space you're monitoring, and anybody else you want to notify in case of trouble. Before setup is done, you push the test button on your most distant smoke or CO alarm to confirm that it can be detected. Bottom line, while it is not intended to replace an alarm system to notify first responders, a kit or remote link is one way when you're away to let neighbors and others know that your place needs attention. It's Marty Winston with a News Tips Bullet Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. Mr. Bob Bryan is here, the General Manager and Chief Technology Officer of SlimWare Utilities, and we're going through their products right now, focusing on Slim Cleaner and how you should be using it to prepare yourself for Windows 10 and all that entails. If you're watching our video, once again, I'm actually running it on my computer right now. I've been remiss. I have not done it lately. I have not vacuumed the floor either, so don't judge me too hard. Anyways, no, but we were just talking about the crowdsourcing element of these products, and it'll actually show you, what's good and what's bad, because, even someone in my position, in Craig's position, someone who deals with all this technology all day long, even we don't know, just every single program that gets put on your computer, be it on purpose or accident. And having the tools, having these tools crowdsourced, it gives you these nice little 5-colored bars, red, dangerous, green, good, very, very simple color coded. But I mean, I've caught a few programs even on my computer where it's like, the community has said that this is an awful thing that that is on your computer, or at least they feel it is bad to have on your computer, and you should probably remove that immediately. And crowdsourcing lets you just see at a glance, at least with the tools that you guys have set up, see at a glance just how bad things are on your computer.
Or good.
And I mean, how hard was it to get Slim Cleaner specifically to be so visual? Because a lot of things with a computer, especially when you are trying to optimize it, clean it, what have you, you're reading addresses, you're looking through, trying to find details of what things are. But everything about this tool though is very visual.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, that's what we designed it to provide simple feedback on what stuff is and what you should do with it. So, there's a lot of complex stuff under the hood for sure. It's not it wasn't a simple tool to build. If it was simple, everybody would do it, right? But the goal is to a complex solution, or an easy solution to a complex problem. The Slim Cleaner product has been on the market for a number of years, and like I said, I know how big you guys are obviously big fans of it, and we really appreciate that. It's been a great product for us.
Yeah, and again, it is the visual element of it is just wonderful, because it makes it at a glance you can see what's going on, and that's a terrific feature. So crowdsourcing really works. It's crowdsourced. You get the benefits of all the comments and now, how do we know how do we rely that the people in the crowd are actually qualified to make these suggestions, Bob?
How do we know everyone isn't out to get us?
Well, that is where so listen, we have our two we have two different types of crowdsourced information. There's some information that we get that we don't really need to qualify we qualify it to make sure it's valid data. It's not being generated by a bot or something like that. But sure. Data like what drivers you have on your computer and what software is on your computer, what the latest version numbers are, that sort of stuff gets sent to us. We call that passive data, and you don't have to. We can filter out all the noise on that stuff, and fairly easily. And it's not data that's it has to be a large volume of data to really have too much of an impact. The data that you're seeing, Ben, as you scroll through this, is what we call active feedback. So these are folks came in here and rated all of these things as good. They gave, a large number of folks gave good ratings to these things. So, we have a proprietary ranking algorithm that attempts to filter out, much in the way that you think of. There's many examples of this. There's Amazon has a reviewer system. Google has PageRank. There's all sorts of examples of this with other companies out there that try to find, through whatever means they have, a voice that they can trust.
Mm-hmm.
And we're no different. We have a proprietary engine that just makes sure that these users are providing good feedback. You can't come in as John Doe off the street and suddenly move a piece of software from good to bad. You have to have a bit of a reputation.
Sure.
And, you've had a history of quality commentary. So, we do a pretty good job of that.
And yes, you do. Now, we have all different levels of expertise listening to the show, Bob, and we've been talking about drivers this and drivers that, and just why don't you tell us a little? I mean, I know why drivers are important for a car, unless you have a self-driving car, but why are drivers important to a PC, and what are they?
Sure. So drivers are vital for your PC. These are pieces of software that you don't necessarily see, but much like the steering linkage in your car, it's pretty vital to make sure that you're it's pretty vital. It's a vital thing under the hood to make your car work, right? It's a vital thing under the hood of your PC to make your PC work. So
absolutely,
what drivers are, they are pieces of software, low-level software that you don't necessarily see, that provide an interface between the physical hardware that you're running, so such as your mouse that you're holding in your hand, or your keyboard,
your printer,
or your hard drive, or your video card, or something like that.
Or your printer, yeah, exactly.
And your printer, sure, and any peripheral, any physical device that you have. They provide an interface. Drivers are the interface between those physical things and the other software that's on your computer. For example, your Windows operating system, to be able to render this video stream that we're looking at here, to be able to render this, it's passed through your video card driver on your computer, or your phone, or whatever you're on right now, watching this. It's the thing that takes instructions in and provides an output. It's an abstraction layer. And the reason why it's so important to keep updated, you have a lot of, aside from security features. So I mentioned these are ultimately software packages, and they're running often as what we call privileged user level. So they're running at a high user level. Something that if it were breached, you could potentially have somebody take over your computer. So you want to have them up to date for security purposes. You also want to have them up to date for performance purposes. So, a great example of this is graphics cards, video drivers. So, if you're an online gamer, you might have the latest and greatest graphics cards, but oftentimes the graphics card companies like AMD and NVIDIA will release new updates that improve performance. They'll target specific games, or they'll target specific features of specific cards for specific games, and they'll really work to improve the performance of your device for you without having to upgrade your device. So imagine just being able to install a piece of software and get double the performance. That's pretty cheap. That's a cheap way to get performance, right?
Yeah, I've been noticing that they're doing that lately with a lot of video games, where especially with the bigger releases, either they'll team up with NVIDIA or AMD, and then they'll actually release drivers like same day as the launch of the game and try to drum up some support. And that's it's a new trend, but I mean it definitely helps the games run better.
And so obviously drivers are really important to a PC, because so what would happen to if a PC system doesn't have the right drivers? What would be the result, Bob?
Your peripherals wouldn't work. So
there you
if
go.
you have,
Crash.
yeah, it wouldn't work. I mean, just plain and simple. You know, I gave the Epson printer and scanner example that I have sitting here in my home office. If I did not have the driver for my Epson scanner and printer, I couldn't use my scanner or my printer. You know, pretty simple. So they're very much a vital component if you want to use your PC to the max.
So therefore, my point is the drivers could potentially be a problem then when someone upgrades to a new OS, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like I mentioned, I think you know, Microsoft is going to attempt to provide backwards compatibility for a lot of the drivers that you install on Windows 7, Windows 8, forward through Windows 10. Mm. That being said, it is always a great idea to have the latest and greatest drivers so that they will maybe support that backwards compatibility a little bit better. There's some things that the manufacturers can do to make to better ensure that compatibility. And then certainly when you update, you know, you want to check your drivers, make sure all your software and all your drivers are updated as often as you can.
Now we got a question from our chat room, and it's sort of a little one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. He says he wants to know. Jonathan wants to know: does Slim drivers ever get the driver update wrong? I think he's had some bad experience with some similar types of products, and so he wants to know, how he can be assured that he's going to get the right drivers.
Make sure they're not getting the drivers for like a Russian MiG and trying to get your mouse going.
Yeah, I mean, look, the answer to that is we attempt. We have a lot of technology and a lot of development, a lot of research has gone into making our system, as bulletproof as possible. We've had a lot of recognition throughout the tech media for doing so. There's I don't think any software anywhere could ever guarantee a pain-free update experience 100% of the time. 99.999 maybe, but no, I can't say that we never ever deliver the wrong driver. We do we deliver the right driver. An awful lot, and that's why why our user base is so large. And we have a lot of folks out there that are rabid loyal fans of the product. So yeah, you should feel safe using our products, and yeah, you should feel safe using our products, and we're proud of them.
Yeah, and again, because there's no such thing as you say 100% all the time. There's no such thing as a perfect program, but your track record. I mean, you've won awards for your programs. I mean, in the media, that's some very prestigious ones, and those awards aren't handed out lightly. So I think that you can feel very comfortable, not fairly, but very comfortable using things like Slim drivers to make sure.
Yeah, it says here you won the New Hampshire Spelling Bee in 2013. So, I mean, awards everywhere.
Okay. So, all right. So now, Ben mentioned games. I understand that some companies like NVIDIA are coming out with new drivers.
Understatement of the year, Ben mentioned games.
Yeah, for the Windows 10. What does that mean to consumers and to their PC? I mean, are they going to have to update their PC drivers when that happens, Bob?
So, I mean, yeah, you definitely want to. NVIDIA is going to be coming out with, or NVIDIA has already announced and has come out with drivers specifically for Windows 10. I'm sure that again, I can't comment specifically on what individual companies are doing with individual drivers. But,
sure.
And just in general, it's a very good idea to have the latest and greatest running. NVIDIA very well may have made some performance updates, some compatibility updates. There's a myriad of reasons why you should update your drivers, your NVIDIA drivers or your AMD drivers or any driver running Windows 10.
Okay. Well, because obviously it's important. They mentioned they're coming out with these new drivers just for Windows 10. And so obviously you need to do that. and again, you need to update. They do need to update the PC drivers to match it, or as you mentioned, things won't work or won't work properly, I would imagine. So, again, all a part of that. Now, what I want
real quick, sorry if I'm off base here, but does the Slim Cleaner or SlimWare Utilities actually remove old drivers? Because not all drivers that are out there are always relevant, and they could just be taking up space or even confusing your computer. Like, does it clean up old drivers?
That's a very interesting question, Ben. And the answer to that is we leave the installation of the new installation of the driver to the experts. And the experts in this instance are the driver manufacturers themselves. So, for instance, you have I think you mentioned somebody in your audience has had some poor experiences with other driver updating applications.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other applications out there attempt to bypass the normal installation routine of the driver. They'll try to silently install it and just kind of inject the thing into your computer.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that can break things. They'll uninstall the old one and install the new one. Oftentimes that leads to a lot of problems. So the approach that we've taken is to run the original manufacturer's installer. So let the manufacturer figure out the best way. We get the driver to you. We get the latest and greatest driver to you,
mm-hmm.
And then let the manufacturer really try and figure out the best way to proceed with the installation. So, we've had a lot of success with that route, and some driver packages, they will. You can't ever have two. You can have you can have driver software competing for the same device. You can't have two drivers for the same device,
right?
Kind of technically speaking. So yeah, I mean, more or less, it's something that we leave to the driver manufacturers. We've had a lot of success with.
All right,
excellent. Listen, what I wanted to ask you too is that you've had some other new features launch recently at SlimWare, and I understand one of them is something called instant alerts, and this is really interesting. I'd like you to take a few minutes and just tell us about what this means what it is and what it means to consumers.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier in the show that we have a suite of free applications. Slim Cleaner Free, Slim Drivers, Slim Computer. We also have a paid application that we recently launched called Slim Cleaner Plus. We recently launched a new feature, instant alerts in Slim Cleaner Plus. So what this is, the value proposition of the Slim Cleaner Plus product, we attempt to automate, automate and simplify. And we do that, that's a theme certainly of our free product too, but we really take it to the next level and try to make it as foolproof and as easy to use as possible in the Plus product.
Mm-hmm.
And this instant alerts feature is something we're really, really excited about. It's the first in a line of kind of concepts for the Plus product. So what we're doing is we are leveraging the community database that we spoke of earlier. So all those things that are on your computer, is it good? Is it bad? What is it? What should I do with it? We have all this data. And what we're doing is when you install a piece of software or a startup gets implanted into your computer or whatever the case may be, our software looks up against our database and basically asks our community the question, is this good? Is this bad? Should I notify the user? Hey, this is installed. So if our community, say you downloaded, I'll give you a great user example from the wild. So one of the biggest problems facing users of the Windows operating system today is drive-by downloads. So you'll go to a download site and you'll try to download a PDF viewer, and you'll end up with an ad injector and 3 other pieces of junkware that you had no idea you were downloading and you don't want, right?
Uh-huh.
So what this feature will do is immediately notify you when that happens, when the installation of, ad injector, bad ad injector happens. It will pop a toaster up in the bottom right hand corner of your screen and say, hey, Craig, you just installed ad injector.
Ouch.
Do you really want to keep this? This is the, here's what it is, and here's what our community thinks you should do with it. Do you really want to keep this? Yes or no? If you say no, it'll remove it right then and there for you. You don't have to deal with it, and it really is a great time saver to keep your computer running clean.
See, that's really slick. I mean, because now you have there's no time lag. It doesn't give the malware any time to do anything bad to your system, and because you're catching it right there, it's like a last moment that it comes up. It gives you a warning. No time lag.
Even if you trust yourself to know what you're downloading and be careful with that. I know a few people that want to put that on their computers and just be like, look, stop calling me. Here you go. Just read the words.
Exactly. And it's called Instant Alerts.
It is. It's called Instant Alerts. It's a feature that's available in our Slim Cleaner Plus product. It's available at slimcleaner.com.
And you just added that in June? So that's a brand spanking new feature.
Brand spanking new. You have to be one of the first to try it. We're like I said, it's the first. It's the first in this sort of proactive, notification line of features that we have planned. We have a lot more of these sorts of things planned, and we're really excited about it.
Anything else you can talk to us about that's here or just around the corner or coming up that we can look forward to from SlimWare Utilities, Bob? Because this is the platform to do it. Let people know.
Yeah, no, look, I appreciate it. I think Craig, we're really, I mentioned we're really looking forward to Windows 10. We have a lot of development efforts going on a couple of new product lines that I'm not quite ready to talk about just yet, but definitely stay tuned. We have a lot of work that we're doing, with the products that we have. Currently the Slim Cleaner Plus product, the driver update, the Slim Driver, Slim Cleaner Free products. There's a lot of things that we're going to be working on. We've over the last 5 years, we've done a really good job, I feel, of collecting a lot of data, a lot of useful data, and feeding that back to customers and letting customers, letting users of our product ingest that data and make decisions based off the data. And we really want to enhance the visibility of that data through features like Instant Alerts. I think that's the first step in a long line of just enhancing the reach of our data. I'd say that's going to be a big theme. That and we're doing a lot with personalized help. We try to the one of the big themes that we have with Crowd and Cloud is that we're able to give a really personalized recommendation on what you should do to optimize your computer. Right. And again, this is a new product line. I'm not too ready to announce it yet, but stay tuned. We're doing a lot with personalization and personalized tech support later here in this year. Personalized help stuff. Well, I'm really looking forward to what the next few months brings.
Absolutely, and we're certainly going to hear about it here. Just all of you just keep listening to Computer America, and this is going to be one of the first places you're going to hear about all the new things coming out from SlimWare Utilities. Now, I noticed you mentioned something called Slim Backup just a little earlier. Is that something that you can talk about, or is that too new as well?
That's something you can't talk about yet.
Yeah, probably a bit of a Freudian slip, but look, it's we're excited. We're excited about the offerings that we have coming down the pipe here, and I mentioned we're all about making sure that our consumers have live an easy digital life, whether it's cleaning their computer, updating, or otherwise servicing their computer. We want to do it and make it easy, and we want to be the one-stop shop for it. So. I'll just leave it at that.
And I gotta tell you, so many of our listeners, thank you for that. Really, I mean, obviously a lot of people want to get their work done or their game on, whatever they're using the computers for. And when you have something like SlimWare Utilities on your side, it's just a wonderful thing. to have. And we, all of you here, all of us here, thank you for the marvelous work that you do and will continue to do. And we can't wait to hear some of the new things that's coming out from SlimWare Utilities. Again, Bob, if people want more information, they can go to slimwareutilities.com. Or you can just go to computeramerica.com. We have a link to the SlimWare Utilities website there at all times. And if you're driving or something and you can't write it down, just know that at computeramerica.com we have all the links to SlimWare Utilities. Bob, this has been a real pleasure and to have you on the show, and we can't wait to have you back. And I understand we got some things in the works with you that we can't quite talk about yet, but we are looking forward to with our continued alliance with SlimWare Utilities. And I want to thank you for taking the time to tell our listeners all about what you're doing at SlimWare Utilities.
Yes, thank you, Craig, Ben. Thank you both for having me, and thank you for being such ardent supporters of our products for the last few years. Thanks for having me. I think my maiden voyage on here went pretty well, so looking forward to many more.
Yeah, you did a great job. Really, it's a pleasure having you here on the show, Bob. And
and honestly, just keep making a good product, and we'll keep preaching it.
Yeah, we've got it. Bob, thanks again for being here. Thanks for being with us here tonight, and we'll see you soon again. Take care. Have a good evening. Good night.
All right, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right, SlimWare Utilities is our guest. And coming up, computer and technology news brought to you by SlimWare Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Don't go anywhere. Ben and I are going to be right back with some great stories. You're listening to Computer America.
This is about a cool new way to be the first to hear about new, completely unannounced products or services. The Monday through Friday, newer than news nationwide Bell Ringers Radio Hour starts August 31st. 4 times on each show, a team of 3 pros, well, 2 pros and me, take the time to tell you all about some new something. That happens over so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. And that same day, releases about that debut go out on 3 major news wires to reach traditional, online, and social media, plus full coverage on SlashGear and some other goodies. Here's what we'd like to ask of you now. At the company you work for or the companies you work with, chances are that the top marketing people in top brass don't yet know about Bell Ringers. Please, just tell them to check out bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at computeramerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello, and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
I had to think about that for a moment. Just had SlimWare Utilities on, Bob Bryant, the Chief Technology Officer for SlimWare Utilities. Very informative hour. And if you missed it, shame on you. And second of all, we have it available. It's always up there. We have archives of all of our shows can be heard again and watched again. We have both the audio and the video streamed at computeramerica.com. So if you time shift your digital entertainment, certainly we will accommodate you at computeramerica.com. Everything that we do, all of our audio, all of our video is available at several sources on Apple's iTunes. I mean, we have all the different places that you can listen to the Computer America Show. And again, we want to thank Bob Bryant for being here, Chief Technology Officer for SlimWare Utilities. And I'm sure he will be back, okay? And there may be some other people from SlimWare Utilities as well. Okay.
They have a lot of smart people over there, so looking forward to that.
What a resource! Absolutely, a technology resource. Before we
they're more than resources, Greg. They're people. They have names, wives, children, mothers. That kind of thing.
That's very true. I just want to let our listeners know that last night, one of our correspondent and co-host Charles Tendell was on CNN last night.
Yes, he is a fan favorite here at Computer America. Much more likable than that, than that kid Ben. But no. Charles Tendell was spotted in the wild on CNN last night.
Yes, and he was introduced as he is the radio co-host of Computer America, and we actually put a link up to that. The video is available if you go under our press releases, news, and info, and you click that, or you click the press releases and news under the pull-down menu. You'll see Charles Tendell there,
looking all snazzy.
Looking all snazzy and everything. Our very own Computer America correspondent, co-host, and if you click the picture of the text there, you can actually watch the video take place. It's very interesting, very informative, and certainly, it's nice to see that when there's a crisis or something and people reach out, they come to Computer America for resource information. So that's there, and of course, our while you're there, check out our press release for bell ringers. We also have that up there. We have several things of interest at our press release, news, and info.
Yeah, just poke around the website. You won't be disappointed.
Exactly. And again, tomorrow night, don't forget, we're giving away that Logitech MX Anywhere.
MX2 Anywhere.
The MX Anywhere 2.
Anywhere 2. The 2 is after the Anywhere.
Yes. The MX Anywhere 2 wireless mouse. It's valued at $80. Some lucky person is going to be winning that. And again, just go to any of their our social media contests. It's right under the Interact pull-down menu. And, like our Facebook. Then you get one entry per week, every single week. You subscribe to Twitter, then you have 2 entries every week, and you don't have to do it once. You go to the YouTube link, and you subscribe to our YouTube feed. That's 3 entries every single week, and it goes
and so on and so forth throughout all the social media that you can follow Computer America on. That's
right, and then that gives you the corresponding number of entries every single week to win that wonderful mouse, brand new, by the way, from Logitech. That's just starting. We gave away our first one last week, and we're going to give away a heck of a lot more. But that's just part of the fun and things that we do here at Computer America. All right. So I think anything else?
Ever since the beginning of that interview with SlimWare Utilities last hour, I downloaded Slim Cleaner, and I've been optimizing my solid state drive, because you can't just defrag it like you can a normal traditional platter hard drive.
Mm-hmm.
But they actually have a tool for solid state drives. And I've not done that lately. And I'm determined before the end of the show, I'm going to get this thing done. It's at like 95%.
I see it. It's very fast. And you can see all the consistency, the little graph, the little chart that they give you, and that's showing it's moving the data around. It's really
it's very I don't say cathartic.
Visual. Very visual.
Not even visual. It's very soothing to see like everything all messed up and disorderly and all that kind of thing. And then it moves the blocks around, and it's a visual representation of something that you had no way of knowing was happening.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of it, you feel cleansed.
You feel cleansed, right?
It's like I didn't know it was happening behind the scenes of my computer, but at the end of it all, you're like, oh, okay, now all of my data is nice in order and succinct. It's nice.
And you keep and then you just don't do it once, every week or two or a month or two. You should.
Yeah, there's a general every couple weeks. You should do tools.
Yeah, at SlimWare for the SlimWare Utilities. Hey, listen, we've been preaching it for a long time, and there's a good reason why we do that. It's a terrific product, and again, everything that you were showing it tonight is free. You can get it all for free at the SlimWare Utilities website. And speaking of SlimWare Utilities, I think we should do some computer news. All right?
All right.
Let's do it. Tonight's computer and technology news is brought to you by, you guessed it, SlimWare Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right. Everything at SlimWare Utilities, free. Download them all. Why not? They're free. Use them. You'll be happy that you did, and you'll thank us for it. SlimWareUtilities.com. And in this very first story, how many of you out there have the Chromecast from Google? Let me count hands. Let's see. 1, 2, 3,
4. Yes, that's a large number.
That's 3 million, 4 million. Yeah, that's a lot of people who have them. Okay. Well, evidently, according to Maximum PC's Paul Lilly, Google quietly launched and sells out of Ethernet adapters for Chromecast. That's right, because until then, the Chromecast was a wireless product. It was an HDMI thing. You plugged it into your, and into your TV, and it used the Wi-Fi connection to download. But let's say you didn't have a Wi-Fi connectivity, and you needed a wired connection for any reason, Well, guess what? You were out of luck.
Let's say your Wi-Fi was down, but you still had internet, and you had that cable in hand. You're like, I could probably cram it into the Chromecast, but I don't think it would do any good.
Yeah. Well, evidently, you're with this new device. It's called the Ethernet adapter. What a very creative name for it, the Ethernet adapter.
Google goes for succinct.
Yes. It sells for $15, so it would bring your Chromecast to a total of what, $45. It's $35 for the Chromecast dongle, and
so $50.
Yeah, $50, 35. Yeah, $50. Okay, that's higher math here.
Carry the 5. No, add the 5. Carry the 1.
Exactly.
There you go.
So now you just connect the included USB cable to the Chromecast, and then you run an Ethernet cable from your router to the adapter and plug it into the wall socket, and that's it. Easy, cheesy, done. Except, I guess Google should have learned their lesson. The demand for this little product was so high that it sold out again. Just the Chromecast did the same thing. Remember, it was by invitation only, and they kept selling out, and they really had to ramp up. All right. Well, this product too. Okay. And according to Google, they don't know when they're going to have more of this Ethernet adapter. But they are going to have more. But they just don't know when. They ran out of the inventory in less than a day.
Wow.
A day.
Like that at that point, that's not like, I don't know if that's impressive because they can move that many units in one day, or if that's horrible logistics and they were just so understocked that in one day they sold out.
Yeah, they only had 5 of them.
Yeah, seriously. Like, I don't know if it's an impressive figure or if it's a I don't want to say damning, but like a slip up by their, market. I don't know.
You think they would learn their lesson, that people want these things. I mean, it's competitively.
Like if you ask me, hey, Ben, how popular do you think a wired connection to the ease of use Chromecast device, how popular would that be? And I'd be like, well, most people have Wi-Fi. It's not a hidden technology. Right. I mean, like internet companies push it into the home every day of our lives. Yep. So I wouldn't think that a wired connected Chromecast would be that important.
But evidently it is.
Evidently.
However, there's a hint that although Google has not officially announced a Chromecast 2 device, chances are that the Chromecast 2, and this is according to a quote from one of Google's vice presidents of product management, they told GigaOM that the Chromecast 2's hardware capabilities will give it a much better opportunity to take full advantage of a large screen paired with a small screen. That's interesting. Okay. But I'm wondering if they're going to...
Large screen paired with a small screen might be some kind of smartphone Android integration.
Could be. But I'm still thinking that will the Chromecast 2 also have the Ethernet built in to it now? Or is it just going to have the Wi-Fi?
No, I doubt it. Adapters exist for a reason, and I think it'd be in their best interest to keep it, as streamlined as possible.
Okay, so this little adapter, it's $15, and whether you're getting a Chromecast,
it's $15, and you can't get it.
Yeah, you can't. And they don't know when the next batch is going to be available. But hey, I guess it's a good problem if you're the seller of these devices. Because it's better to sell out than just have a warehouse full of them and no one wants them. Obviously, Google knows Chromecast is a huge hit, and it will continue to be so. They continue to add so many great features to the Chromecast. I have one. I got one when it first came out. They've added so many features. They perfected it. They tweaked.
Really, it's like the best way to get internet on a television that isn't already a smart television.
Yeah.
It's $35, cheap, works great, very simple.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, you can spend more. I mean, you can get yourself a Roku, the Roku 2. Now we've had
Oh,
Roku
yeah.
show, and they you know,
An Apple TV.
yeah, exactly. But those are like $99 or something, and they have their advantages. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love the Roku with its remote control. I mean, that's very cool. But again, for $35, you know, and you use your smartphone as the remote, it's really a no-brainer. So anyway, they sold out of these little things, the Ethernet ones, and there's no knowing when they're going to have them again. But I'm sure they're working frantically on it. And we thought we'd let you know about it. Okay, what else?
All right. Well, this next story comes from PopSci, Popular Science, a great publication that has a lot of, yes, they're more on obviously the science part of it, but they have a lot of technology. Though this one is using technology to find something about science in a place where they haven't really gone before. And this is an underwater volcano. If you're watching our live video stream, we're kind of threw up the National Geographic video, that the little teaser that they've given, and they took a submersible, like what do you call it? An unmanned submersible. I won't say drone, but obviously it's like a submarine kind of deal.
Submarine.
Yeah. Anyways, they took one of those with a camera, put it down next to an active underwater volcano, and they thought they'd find some kind of silly looking life, some weird stuff, and obviously they didn't think anything was possible. They didn't think anything could possibly live there next to an underwater volcano, an active underwater volcano, because obviously too hot, very volatile conditions. But when they pulled up the camera, checked out the footage, guess what they found?
Teeming with life.
They found stingrays, they found fish, they even found 2 different species of sharks inside the active volcano.
But how well were they cooked? I mean,
They were alive.
They were alive.
They were, and yes, as the article says from PopSci, let's get an author in here. Author Mary Beth Griggs. She says, just to reiterate, and this cannot be emphasized enough, they found sharks in a volcano. Awesome.
Yeah, it was. Are they going to come out? The movie they're going to be coming out with is called Sharkcano.
Not much.
Okay.
The whole article kind of had a tongue-in-cheek kind of deal with the whole blockbuster Sharknado, and they're wondering if there's going to be a sequel, Sharkcano, coming out. But, as for what Hollywood says is possible in real life, who knew that sharks could be found living inside an active underwater volcano? Very cool.
Yeah, very cool. Well, speaking of cool things, our good friends over at Logitech are having a little bit of a change. And again, this according to Maximum PC's Paul Lilly. Logitech is looking to rebrand itself, and they've unveiled a new logo for this. Okay. Now, according to them, they didn't change things up because they were, they just want to do it for the sake of doing it. Evidently, they're looking to go from a tech company to a design firm. Because let's face it, Logitech, some of the designs that I have seen for their keyboards and their mice are just gorgeous. I mean, they make some stellar devices.
Well, Logitech had a great variety, like that's one thing that obviously we've been giving away their products for a long time, and we've seen a lot of their lineup over the years.
Yeah,
one of the things that we liked about them was that they have a lot of variety. They have very cool, very stylish, very sleek keyboards, mice, headphones, what have you, and those are all great, but they also had very affordable, without all the bells and whistles, without all the pretty colors and that kind of thing. They had very useful, because you can't call them pretty, but they had very useful headsets, mice, keyboards, other peripherals, and it's like they've always been well designed.
Yeah,
but they've had the variety out there.
Well, evidently, they want to go beyond PC peripherals to, and this is a quote, products that have a place in every aspect of your daily life, unquote. Okay, and they cite some examples: the Keys to Go, the BMO, the MX Master Mouse. Okay, so and for the most part, there's still PC peripherals, but these ones I mentioned have more of a design flair, and they just look very, very nice. So evidently, they're looking to expand this, and their approach to design goes beyond the classic definition, and evidently they feel that the products have come a long way, and they think now is the time to bring the brand forward too. So part of the new transformation process is the new logo. Okay, and you'll see it's called the I don't know if you pronounce it Logi. Logi. Is it Logi or Logi? I guess it would be Logi.
I would guess it'd be Logi.
Yeah, the Logi label.
Tech, and now it's just Logi.
Yeah, Logi. The Logi label, it's easier to say, I guess. The Logi label on the company's newest product categories. They have a video that you can watch. But look for the new change from Logitech to Logi. And it's all part of their new...
It's always fun to see who works on these designs, though. Like, who's the head guy? Because usually they run in packs. Like, whenever Apple uses one, like Apple used one guy, and he was very, very popular.
Oh, John, what is his name? Johnny
Ives.
Johnny Ives, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Series used one. I mean, like whenever companies go through these rebranding things, they usually use someone who has tried and has been successful. So I'm gonna look into see just who else.
All right.
This guy has worked with.
All right.
Because I think that'd be fun.
You're gonna do some investigative reporting.
Investigative reporting.
But
but we'll look into that while we do another story. This next story, though.
Okay.
All right. Here's one that will make you trust your government a little bit less.
Okay.
And I'm gonna throw up a code here on the video portion, but we'll tell you about it.
Ooh, that looks like what language is that?
I believe it's C++.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it is C++. It looks like it.
Yeah. Anyways, code, and right here, this code was actually leaked from an independent contractor that is employed by, I want to say, the FBI.
Okay.
And these independent contractors, they're actually hackers. They're hackers that the FBI will hire, and they'll do all of their, all their hacking that needs to be done off the books. They're independent contractors, so they don't answer to anyone except who hires them. And this one really did make me mad. Like, code rarely does, but this leak code is just really one of the worst things that I've honestly ever heard of, because they used this code, and among, I'm sure, many other pieces, many other programs and code out there. This one shows blatantly that it is designed to put child pornography on unsuspecting people's computers.
I see that. I see the line of code has been highlighted too.
Yeah, and it's, obviously awful stuff, and no one would, obviously you would not want to distribute it. And by the way, distributing it is a felony, highly illegal, throw you in jail for a long time. And there's an independent contractor by the FBI who is distributing it illegally to other people's stuff, so that they can then go in, break into the hard drives, and of course look for the other stuff, but then also confiscate it on the grounds of finding what.
Yeah.
And this story is just coming to light like today. So obviously more of this is going to be, more on the story is going to be coming out. But the very first thing that we're hearing about this is obviously this piece of code that got leaked. And you can be sure that something like this, there is no excuse for it in any world. So there's gonna be a lot. There's gonna be a huge fallout.
Yeah,
from this.
We should get Charles Tendell on the show and talk about.
Oh
it.
yeah, This is beyond conspiracy theories, because this is, you're staring at the proof.
Yeah.
Of just what they're doing. So Charles Sandell, I'm sure would I wouldn't say have a field day with this, but just be massively ticked off. As an ethical hacker,
Sure.
this is the least ethical thing that you can do.
Yeah, exactly. That's terrible. Well, at least we're letting our listeners aware.
Yeah, no, you're going to be hearing about the story, but this is where it's all going to be starting from. Again, is just from that code that was leaked from an independent contractor by the FBI.
Right, and again, we're saying this from GitHub, which is the source for this.
Yes.
All right.
Well, no, GitHub is just a code database distribution. You load your code up there, and then people can search it, look through it, that kind of thing. So,
Right.
it's kind of like saying OneDrive. This story is brought to you by OneDrive. No, they're just hosting the data.
All right. Well, you and I have marveled at the capacities of hard drives. We just recently, I think the other day, reported about a hard drive that has 4 terabytes on one drive. What was it? What was it that we were talking about? It was a 4 terabyte drive?
Oh, well, we talked about an 8 terabit drive, and then I believe we talked about a 2 terabit solid state drive.
Right, exactly.
So 8 divided by 2 is 4. So yeah.
So anyway, according again, Maximum PC and Paul Lilly, he announced OCZ announces an affordable Tryon 100 solid state drive line, and people and he warns people, said when you say something is affordable, the knee-jerk reaction is what? Oh, it's cheap, it's budget, you can't, it's something you don't want to get. He says, but that's not necessarily the case with OCZ's newly minted Tryon 100 solid state drive line. Okay, evidently these are quality drives, because obviously not all solid state drives are created equally, and there's lots of different things. But according to him, they use Toshiba's triple level cell NAND flash memory and controller technology, and because they're doing that, they get the SATA 6 gigabits per second drives feature sequential read speeds of up to 550 megabytes per second, and
not bad.
Yeah, and sequential writes up to 530 megabytes per second. So the writes, which are always slower than the reads, it's just like 20.
Yeah, it's right up
per second difference. I mean, that's very, very fast. That's excellent specifications. Along also with random read I/O performance of up to 90,000 IOPS as well. That's pretty impressive. Now, granted, they say none of these figures are on the level of a PCIe based solid state drives, but in the SATA 6 bits per second territory, he says it doesn't get a whole lot faster. He said this is a really, really good. And then he gives a whole list of specifications. The drives are available in 120 gigabyte, 240, 480, and 960 gigabytes available.
So up to 1 terabyte, pretty much.
Exactly. The 120 gigabyte goes for $57. The 240 is $88. The 480 gigabyte version is $185, and the 960 gigabytes, that's formatted. So before that's is $370. And for solid state drive, that is quite. I mean, the prices have come way down.
Yeah, no, it wasn't too many years ago we were talking about how it was, just flat out unaffordable, and then it came down to $2 a gig, which was, affordable but on the high end. Like, not a lot of people were going for that. And then it hit under $1 a gig, and people, were happy. It was affordable, and now we're safely under the 50 cents a gig milestone.
And other good piece of news is that these drives are available now. Not next month, 2 months around. They're available now, and each drive is backed by OCZ's Shield Plus warranty for 3 years. So it's got a 3-year warranty on these things. Which atypically, usually you get 1 year. You get a 1 year warranty on most hard drives. So these solid states are warranty for 3 years. No shipping costs and no hoops to jump through. Basically, you provide the serial number, and OCZ will take care of the rest. So they'll ship it back, and they'll give you a brand new one if something goes wrong with it for up to 3 years. So, for that price, that's very that's impressive. So that's
Yeah.
so I think it's a good buy. So if you're looking for a solid state drive with some, meat on it, some capacity.
And OCZ isn't some fly by night company that you've never heard of trying to make a name for themselves. They've been around and they're respected.
Yeah, and you can just look at it. You can see it's well made. So something you might want to check out. OCZ, the Tryon 100 solid state drive line. Check it out.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, and just while we have a second, I looked up, obviously this doesn't really matter anymore, but I looked up Mr. Alistair Curtis's background.
Oh yeah.
The one doing the whole Logitech rebranding effort.
Yeah.
He was, I guess, for the longest time, looks to be about 1995 till about 2000 and 1995 to 2009. He was the driving force behind Nokia.
Oh, okay.
Their design, and then he was the head of the North America division, and then he worked mainly on the mobile phones.
Wow.
So he's if you're wondering where this guy cut his teeth, Nokia. It's they I admit they haven't been as successful lately. He obviously left in 2009, but I mean that's a big company.
Nokia used to be the #1 maker of cell phones.
Oh yeah,
they were it.
I believe my first cell phone was a Nokia 3310.
Yeah, I had a Nokia phone too. They were terrific. They were rugged. They would, this is before the advent of the smartphone, folks. This is before the first iPhone made its appearance. But
these were what we now consider nowadays a feature phone or a dumb phone.
Exactly. But in their day, Nokia was the world leader when it came to cell phones. Now, I don't know where they rank now.
I mean, they're still. It has to be still around, right?
Yeah, they're still around.
I'm sure they hold so many patents that they can, just. Oh yeah, that's right. They do make the Nokia Lumia.
Okay. All right. Good enough.
Oh yeah, they're still a phone manufacturer.
All right. Well, we're going to take a little bottom of the hour break, and then we'll continue on. And we have another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up as well. It's Thursday, so we'll hear it probably one more time, and then we get 2 new ones in the following week. But
for anyone who is very, very curious, my disk defragment is going well.
Yes,
thank you for asking.
Yes, the slim cleaner is doing its job with SlimWare Utilities. Anyway, Ben and I will continue computer and technology news brought to you by SlimWare Utilities. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. You're listening to the one, the only Computer America.
I need a favor. You may not have anything to do with launching new products or new services at the company you work for or the companies you work with. So just in case the people there who are in charge of that aren't listening to Computer America tonight, please tell them about Bell Ringers. It starts August 31st as an hour-long Monday through Friday nationwide radio show on so many stations that more than 50 million people will be able to tune it in. 4 times each hour, a team of 3 takes the time to fully describe and explain something that's never been announced before, making it newer than news. And that same day, they send releases over 3 wires to traditional online and social media. Get full coverage on Slash Gear and more. Please, just ask those marketing guys to take a look at bellringersmedia.com. That's BELLRINGERSMEDIA.com. bellringersmedia.com. But hurry, September segments are booking now. Thanks.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? That's so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they're available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Old school? Never graduated. Marty Winston with the News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Jasco Heavy Duty Timer. When's the last time you used a timer? Maybe have one so a lamp can make it look like somebody's at home when you're really away. But other than that, the thought really comes off. It did occur to us, though, when we reviewed a plug-in 1.5-gallon hot water heater that could fit under one faraway sink and have hot water ready there in 8 minutes from a cold start. Like most hot water tanks, the 12-amp heater inside gets automatically turned on and off by a thermostat that keeps track of the water temperature. But that got us to thinking that reheating really isn't necessary when we're away from that space, and we still do sleep nights. We asked Jasco to send their heavy-duty timer for review. It's a 15-amp control with a grounded AC outlet in its body and a short cord to plug it into the wall. A circular dial under a flip-up cap, and we should mention that it's outdoor rated, though we don't need that for our use. That circular dial lets you set it to the current time, also lets you set on and off times in 15-minute increments by sliding small sliders out or in, and a red slider selects timed or manual on and off. It's quiet. You have to hold it up to your ear to hear the geared clock motor inside. Bottom line, the Jasco heavy-duty 24-hour timer lets you set high-power things to run only when you need them to run to help your electric meter do a little less running. Marty Winston for News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. 33 minutes past the hour. We're doing computer and technology news, of course, brought to you by SlimWare Utilities. Just going over some of the news events of the day. Breaking, all these have been reported on today. Nothing, from like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Whenever we do news, we try to make it as relevant as possible.
But I'm looking at your formatting thing, and it's making terrific progress. It's almost done. It's just
it's just chugging along. I'm not going to rush it. It's I'm sure it knows what it's doing better than I do. Mm-hmm. Though I can actively look at my operating system and see that it's already made about another 6 gigs before it's even done.
Wow.
of space. And honestly, like this is one of the things I was doing in the first hour when I probably should have been working on the show. Instead, I was watching this program. And one thing I did was I only have like a 60 gig. Well, it's really 64, but after the operating system and everything, it's actually a 60 gig solid state drive that I keep my operating system on. And check that out, it's done. Cool.
It finished.
It's finished.
Look at all the little blue dots. It's all nice and contiguous. It's just really very, very cool.
Very cool. Anyway, so and I was going through my files, and I found one on there again, 60 gig drive, right? I found a file on there thanks to just the way that SlimWare Utilities kind of presents it all. I hadn't found it before, and it was hybersys something.
Yeah.
And it was 14 gigs for one file.
Wow. That's a big file.
Yeah. and looking it up, do you know what it was?
What was it? I can't imagine.
It was a system file for putting your computer into hibernate mode. So it keeps everything in memory. It keeps it all active, but it puts the computer in otherwise powered down state. But as soon as you press the power button, obviously is all going to come back up just like you left it. And I don't use that mode like ever.
Right.
I either leave it on or I shut it down completely, because sometimes it is good just to shut it down completely, just to let everything, just kind of relax. And so I deleted the file, and there you go. Out of a 60 gig drive, clearing up 14 gigs of space right there at one time, saved me a lot of headache, because I've been having to lately, go in, find files by myself and kind of say, it's 50 megabytes, but I could really use that 50 megabytes, so I got to delete that.
And you got 14 gigs back thanks to SlimWare. SlimWare made it
easier to find. So You
Okay.
know,
That's
very,
it.
very cool. But yeah, no, that's neither here nor there. Just, you know, even if you don't think that's even if you don't think that you need it,
Mhm.
run it anyways. You know, see
Oh,
what you can find.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but like we were talking about before,
It's
we're
your
doing your technology news, and did you say it's my turn to pick a story?
Yes, it is.
It's my turn to pick a story. All right, so how about we do a good one?
All right.
Because the last couple have been pretty heavy.
Uh-huh.
So how about this one? This one is from Motherboard, which is a publication by Vice, and the author is Clinton Wynn.
Okay.
And okay, so a little while ago, the courts ruled that cities, municipalities, states, what have you, anywhere, they could choose to have, or I'm sorry, they could choose to create their own internet infrastructure.
Yeah.
And this has been happening a lot in Tennessee. This has been happening a lot in California, places like that, where states, I'm sorry, not states, cities want to set up their own gigabit fiber networks.
Mhm.
But then they were finding they were hitting some roadblocks by private companies saying, no, 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 that's our job, that's our turf. You're not allowed to do that. And of course, the court smacked that down with a vengeance, saying, hey, private industry, that's not your decision to choose what what these governing bodies do and what their citizens endorse. So yeah, they've got they got the right to build it, and now here on Motherboard they have 101 cities have now pledged to build their own gigabit networks,
Okay. That's a good thing.
independent from any of the other previous, any of the big name providers. It's all on their own taxpayer dime.
Right.
So this is very, very cool because, obviously in a lot of places, and this is the case where I live. This is the case where a lot of people live. Usually, you have one provider, and if you're lucky, you have two providers duking it out, giving you, I'll be honest with you, not the best service, just because they either they have a monopoly,
Mhm.
or they know that they're at least competitive
Mhm.
with the other guy, but they're not trying to bring gigabit service to everyone. Obviously, Google Fiber, comes in, and companies magically all of a sudden get the ability to do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
But they definitely aren't bringing it to everywhere as fast as people would like. And in come these cities who have through some means or one other decided that they're going to build their own, and they have a list. I didn't let's see. We're not going to read all 101 states, or I'm sorry, 101 cities that are going to be doing this, but there's like 10 in California, 10 in Colorado, a couple in Washington, and the rest are like evenly distributed, throughout the other states. But definitely, if you're interested in gigabit service, this might be one for you. It's happening in a lot of the higher population areas. Like this isn't happening in Poughkeepsie. This is happening in the higher regions. So if you're interested, you can definitely go find this article and find the list of 101 cities, and it might be yours, and definitely worth checking into.
Hey, you'll be really appreciative that we alerted you to it.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Here's one from a gadget. I really like their website. They have some really cool things. This is by Chris Velasco. It's a first look at iOS 9. Excuse me.
iOS 9.
Yes, iOS 9. OS 9. That's long gone. iOS 9, however, is soon to be here. He says there's small changes. He says they add up to something big. These little changes. He says. He talks about Apple's still pretty new to the whole public beta thing, but it dropped 2 consumer previews today. They also mention El Capitan, which is the Apple OS 10 version coming out. And I just thought they just Yosemite. It's been a year since Yosemite. Wow. Anyhow, so anyway, he wanted to look and see what's the story about this iOS 9, and he has a spoiler alert, and he says it's pretty darn solid. Okay. Now he wants to say, as stable as the iOS 9 beta seems right now, he says it's still not ideal for use as a daily driver. Okay. He says, but if you want to get a little look into the future, and you have a spare sacrificial iDevice you want to try it on, he said, you go ahead. He's doing it on an iPad Air 2. So he's going to talk about some of the features. Now, one of the things that I understand that it's going to be offering is multitasking. You can actually be able to split the screen on your iOS device and run two
apps at the same time.
At the same time, yeah. Now, see, typically you can actually do that now. You can run two apps right now with iOS 8, but you can't. You have to flip between the two of them. Because if you double press your home button real fast, you get all the running apps. And they're running. They're running.
But not really. Like, that's not the same feature.
All right. Well, anyway, this side by side is going to be one of the nice features, and also security. They're going to bump up the passcode. We'll need 6 digits rather than 4. Okay, so now that's what 100,000 different variations rather than 10,000. Okay. iOS 9 also brings support for 2-factor authentication. I know Charleston will be happy with that. So that's also a nice addition.
Yep,
and
they're definitely adding a lot.
Yeah, and the iOS home screen is they're making some changes. Apple swapped the little Helvetica New as the system font with the chunkier San Francisco typeface, which actually made its debut on the Apple Watch. But that's not important. He says basically, if you double tap the home button, it'll bring up a revamped app switcher, which layers cards on top of each other so you can see more of them from the get-go. Rather than the little icons at the bottom now, you can see them overlapping on each other, which actually kind of light. And yes, it's a minor change, but you can see what's running. Right now, all you see is a little app icon, and you have to tap that to decide. And it says if you have an iPad Air, Air 2, or Mini 2, or Mini 3, you can swipe over from the right edge of the screen to bring up the slide over menu. And here you get a vertical list of Apple-only apps that you can run within that window. Okay, so like Safari and News, that type of thing. They're also calling it a smarter iOS.
Let's stop right here. Okay, it's a smarter iOS, obviously much better laid out. They have a new maps where it can even integrate public transportation. It has news and other kinds of things. Has everything that we talked about with Gene Steinberg, a couple of nights ago, that kind of thing. But we're not going to go through the entire article just yet because it's not out and it's a pretty meaty article. So
yeah, but I do want to say that it also will have, if you have an iPhone, you're going to get a low power mode. That'll throttle the performance when you need the juice. So that's something that'll extend the battery life of your device.
Yep.
So some looks at a first look at iOS 9. Okay. All right.
Well, yeah. Sorry to rush you on that one, but there is a big one that I really wanted to get in here as well.
Okay. Go for it.
This is from our friends over at
Intel.
Yeah. Well, Intel or IBM.
Okay.
IBM. These, yeah. So here, this one from Engadget, Devendra Hardawar, and the title: "You won't buy IBM's 7-nanometer chip, but it's a big deal for computing." 7 nanometer.
That is impressive. I mean, Intel is just getting its 14-nanometer size out to the public.
Yeah. What is it? Wait. The width of I want to say a hydrogen atom is 0.12 nanometers. So this thing is smaller.
7 nanometers.
Smaller than 10 hydrogen atoms side by side. I mean,
that's
when we're talking about nanometer, it's tiny, tiny, tiny.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, this is a really, really cool article. That's Moore's law is alive and well. Saying that yes, Intel finally got its 14 nanometer chip size. We've seen their roadmap. By 2020, they're hoping to get their own 5 nanometer out there. But IBM today announced its silicon breakthrough, or at least there were 10 different breakthroughs that led to something like this. It took years for the chip maker at Intel to move from 22 nanometer to 14 nanometer, which offer better power efficiency. And faster overall speeds thanks to the denser manufacturing. IBM's 7 nanometer chip, produced together with partners including Global Foundries and Samsung, will offer similar benefits, but the road to get these vastly more complex is to get these more complex in the 14 nanometer chip. Blah blah blah. Every 18 months, Moore's law doubles. Now we're at 7 nanometers. They have a quote here saying that the implications of our achievement are huge for the computer industry. By making the chips inside computers more powerful and more efficient, IBM and our partners will be able to produce the next generation of servers and storage systems for cloud computing, big data analytics, and cognitive computing. Wow. So basically, the move towards 7 nanometer or less, 7 nanometer is less about making desktops faster and more about making computer more efficient for laptops, mobile devices, and other platforms. Because obviously, if these things get smaller, if they get more dense, they get more powerful, and you fit them into tinier and tinier spaces, that's just going to lead to
they consume less power too.
And obviously, they consume less power. You can put them in more places that were not even possible with even say something twice as big, a 14 nanometer chip. Just it's 7 nanometer is tiny, 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 like cannot see with the naked eye tiny. And hey, 5 is just around the corner. So yet another breakthrough accomplished.
And of course, the people that will benefit from that is you and me, all the general consumer.
Yep.
Okay. We have time to do a couple more here. This is cute. The Force can be with us again. According to CNET, Anthony Dominacro, he says, unleash your inner Star Wars geek because they have a new mobile app. Okay. He says, what's the best way to stay on top of Star Wars news 24/7? Well, as Admiral Akbar would eloquently say, it's an app. Okay, that's what we'll do it. Basically, here it is. It's for iOS and for Android. It's basically a 24/7 hub for all things Star Wars. Okay. It features instant notifications for breaking news, like just announced Han Solo spin-off film. We just heard about that too, and it's not going to be the Harrison Ford, right? It's going to be another
new actor. Recasted.
Yeah. Okay. Fun facts about things that happened on the Star Wars day. Star Wars history. May the 4th be with you, or something.
It's an app for all of you people who can't get enough Star Wars.
Exactly. And basically, it's everything. You said it, everything you want to know about X-Wings fighters, you name it, you got it. This is going to be this app is going to tell you all. I'm just looking at all the different things,
and I'm pretty sure it's free. It's free. So
it's from the App Store, Google Play. It's Android, iOS.
Yeah, definitely go check that out.
Check it out.
It's just a way to hype you up for more Star Wars that are coming out at the end of the year.
Yep. Okay.
But we actually had 2 stories that were submitted by a listener. We figured we get these in because they're very, very relevant and they're very, very cool. So let's just get through these real quick. The first one, Space Case 1.
Okay.
They claim it's the world's most advanced smart suitcase. And if you've ever been traveling, suitcases are traditionally they're kind of a crapshoot. Like they they hold your clothes, you throw them on a plane, you hope that it also arrives when you arrive, at your destination.
Mhm.
And if it doesn't, then you take it with you go take it up with baggage claim, and they're very apologetic, but they can't help you, and your whole trip is put on hold until your baggage gets to where you are.
Uh-huh.
Well, enter the Space Case 1. Very, very advanced. You pack it up, has plenty of storage, just like any other suitcase. But this suitcase, obviously big, rolly, knobby wheels, looks very efficient, hard plastic, not gonna damage. It has some very, very cool apps. One of the thing is it can actually weigh itself.
Really?
So if you set it on the ground and you have your smartphone attached to it, it'll say if your baggage is 46 pounds, 50 pounds. If you want to stay right underneath the allowable, some airlines charge for like 70 pounds or over. So if you want to pack and make sure you're under that, there you go.
Cool. I like.
There's also some stuff where you can actually charge devices inside the suitcase. It has a battery that you charge the case, you charge the suitcase, obviously, and then you can charge other devices from that suitcase. That is a lifesaver if you can't exactly find an outlet at the airport. A few other things is, let's say your suitcase is stolen. If your suitcase gets too far away from your paired smart device, it will actually lock up the wheels and become inactive. Like it'll start setting off an alarm. It'll start screaming, and it's like, help me. But yeah, no, it'll kind of go in defense mode. It lets you pull up the app and pinpoint it exactly using some kind of tracking feature to take you to the suitcase within a couple feet.
That's very cool.
So they're claiming, again, the Space Case 1, they're claiming it is the most advanced suitcase on the market. And by the look of this thing, it's on Kickstarter right now. It's already reached its goal of $50,000 on Kickstarter. It's currently sitting at $627,000. So it's well over 10 times their projected goal. Go check it out. It's still 6 days left to go buy one. Just let's see, $200 is a super early bird. They're all gone.
Hmm.
The next one that you can buy is $300.
Yeah, it's a good deal.
$300, and you get the most intelligent, smartest suitcase on the market
That you've ever had.
Yep.
And what's the other story? Is this about a 3D printed car?
The other one is a startup company plans to begin selling the first 3D printed car next year. And I didn't really have a chance to browse over this, but we're going to try to give it the once over real quick. This is a completely 3D printed car, top to bottom, side to side, except for I'm sure the wheels and some of the engine blocks and things like that. But in general, it's going to be mostly 3D printed, and they're hoping it will be priced between $18,000 and $30,000.
Wow, that's a good deal.
Yeah, no, and obviously if it's 3D printed, the parts should be very, very easy to come by, because again, 3D printed, you should be able to pop those things out pretty quick. And they're saying it's a low speed battery car, so obviously electric. And yeah, no, this could change car manufacturing, because just look at what 3D printing has done for manufacturing of other parts, and it's just starting to catch on in the consumer space. So 3D printing a car, if other companies decide that their old traditional manufacturing processes are too complicated when you have access to things like 3D printing your own car, then this could be the first of many, many 3D printed cars.
It's a spiffy looking little car too.
Oh yeah, no, it's very cool.
At first, I thought it looked like a Mini Cooper, a little Mini Cooper, but it's not.
Looks like a dune buggy.
Yeah, it's like a little dune buggy. It's very cool looking. I can't that they printed that from a 3D printing device.
Although this is obviously a 3D model, like just kind of a done up kind of deal.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, just let's hope that this startup can get to work, because I think 3D printed cars, not for your high class luxury cars or not for your construction equipment, obviously not for your pickup trucks, but just as a get up and go around town kind of car, 3D printed cars could, take over that whole space.
Exactly. There's so many things that are being 3D printed now. We got 3D printed homes and 3D printed products, and we are on the cusp of seeing some amazing technologies coming into our lives again.
Yep.
To these technologies. Well, I think that about wraps up the show. Again, I want to thank SlimWare Utilities, Bob Bryant, for being here with in the first hour with us. It was really interesting. And of course, we have Windows 10 just around the corner, July 29th. And follow his advice. Get SlimWare Utilities. It's completely free. And the Slim drivers will update you to all the necessary drivers for Windows 10. Great words of wisdom. And check it out. And again, thanks to him for being here with us tonight from SlimWare Utilities. And hopefully we will have him back again and for many months to come. And let's see what else. On tomorrow night, it's Friday night, we're going to give away that Logitech MX Anywhere 2 mouse, a wireless mouse, like valued at $80. So make sure you have your entries in, just one time for each of our social media. So make sure you get your entries in. And then you never have to do it again. Then you can sit back, relax, and just be entered in our Friday contest automatically. Okay. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Ralph Bond joining us. Ralph Bond.
Nice.
Yeah. And he's got
90 seconds.
And some interesting stories, including a backpack becomes the industry's first wearable reality capture device. He's going to talk about a fake bacteria that have been engineered to patrol the human gut. Here's one: a robot, 3D robot, a robot. Excuse me. They can print 3D. A robot that can print in 3D a steel bridge in midair. You start at one end, and this robot will build a bridge that you can, and it's
60 seconds.
A real steel bridge that lasts for a long, long time. It's like a steel arc. And this robot, you just set it down and starts building a 3D bridge over a body of water or anything. It's amazing.
What tells it to stop? What's keeping it from just building bridges everywhere?
Yeah, right. It's, he's got
bridges, literal bridges to nowhere.
A toy car powered by evaporating water. He's going to talk about Sharp's new freeform display. He's got some amazing stories, and hopefully all of you will be here tonight with us as we discuss them with Ralph Bond tomorrow night. So about wraps it up. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. And so until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman, hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, everyone.
10 seconds. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay, everybody. Again, thanks so much for being here with us. And Ralph Bond's going to be with us here tomorrow night. It's going to be a fun show. It's a Friday night show. We'll have the contest, giving away that great Logitech prize. And Ben and I will see you here tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.